What's going on, guys? BMS and Naya back with another video. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Make sure you guys don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. So here we go.
When they're growing up, they're not taught anything about homemaking, housekeeping, cooking, baking, cleaning, doing laundry, keeping a clean and tidy home, and forget canning and sewing and all of the traits that our past generations, way past generations knew they needed to have to survive. But because of the modern conveniences that we have, most women don't need to know all that kind of things, but they still need to know how to keep a home clean and tidy, to cook and bake. But they actually cook and bake, they don't need to know anymore either. They can buy fast food, takeout food, processed cooked food in the grocery stores. So all the jobs that we're homemakers can be outsourced, and they haven't been taught them. They've been given little value. They have no value in our culture anymore.
Cooking should be learned by everybody, in my opinion, but specifically, especially women as well. And I find, obviously, because it is so quick to like open up my phone, click Uber Eats, and then I get food in like 20 minutes. And I get to sit on my bum and just wait for my food instead of actually making the food in 20 minutes. And then, you know, you feel more accomplished that way. So,
yeah, I think it's an issue where you're getting dopamine hits every time you click that button. It's an instant gratification that I did something, right? Oh. I made this purchase. Look how easy it is. I'm going to get my food. I feel good about myself, right? Versus when women used to cook back in the day, they would cook, you know, for hours and make a good meal. And their gratification was people eating their food and seeing the faces and interacting with their family and things of that nature, right? So
if I spend hours cooking, I better see a smile on the face, you know?
Right. But, so the dopamine feeling has been switched from human interaction of that smile on your family's face. Okay. Compared to, you know, seeing that delivery guy with my food and enjoying my food, right? Okay. So it's just different.
Career woman and making money is what's cheered and congratulated in our culture. So then these little girls aren't taught anything about homemaking, being wives. They don't see examples of good marriages anywhere around them. And they're taught that they need to pursue their dreams and their goals. It's all about them. Everything is about them and what they want. When they go to college, they can have sex freely, be promiscuous, as long as they take that pill, which is health destroying, and they have the option of abortion if they get pregnant. They're taught that they're to be competitive with men and that they're superior to men. And you see the slogan these days that the future is female. So they taught that they're the be all and end all. They don't need a man. It's completely opposite of what God's will is for women. And it does not make them into marriage material at all. So they spend 4 or more years in college and universities. Then they go after their career every day. They make money and spend it on themselves, traveling and doing all they want to themselves, having the latest fashion and makeup and boob jobs and Botox and whatever, you know, manicured nails and toes, and it's all about them and how they can spend money on themselves and do whatever they want. They're taught to be independent from men, strong, aggressive, competitive. If they're taught to be a gentle and quiet spirit, they mock it. Just look at the way women respond when they come to my site. It's so contrary to everything that they've ever been taught. And then women come to me and say, there are no men to marry. Well, guess what? There's few women that men want to marry. I remember one time my son was dating a young girl at first date. She came to our house and we were eating dinner and she just made the statement, I just hate to cook. I never want to cook. My son was like, no, thank you, in his mind. He likes to eat. He wants a wife who loves homemaking, who loves to cook and clean and wants to have babies. Women are taught to not even want babies today. Babies are pollute the earth. They're time wasters. they're taught to be selfish.
Pollution thing, okay, like relax, you know. I think it's just more so when women see these children who are crying and who are like, you know, being loud and things like that, you're like, oh God, I don't want that, right? And you're just like, it looks like a headache, it looks like so much work. It just looks like it's too much work, right? Obviously, if you're alone, then yeah, it's gonna be like, there's a reason why the saying goes like, it takes a village to raise a child. It's because you need other people as well. You can't just do everything by yourself. So of course, if you see the single mom like struggling, maybe like raising children on her own, it's a lot for one person to take on, right? So that's why it's so important to have a strong family unit, because then you have your parents to help you, like parents, grandparents, and like cousins and stuff like that to be involved in the child.
You need to be taught the complete opposite of what feminism has taught women today. They need to be taught to have gentle and quiet spirits, to love being home, and be taught all the ways of homemaking, to be good cooks, to be good cleaners, to work hard at home, to not be idle and gossipers, not to be lazy, but to glorify God in all that they do. They need to learn to love babies and want children. God calls children a blessing. He doesn't call having a career a blessing. This was the man's curse after the fall, was having to provide for the family. And careers make women hardened. Being at home with children makes them softer. And our emotional, sensitive nature was created to be home with children. We weren't given the testosterone to be out in the workforce and to be competitive and driven. And this is why women's suicide and depression rates are skyrocketing, because they're where God doesn't want them to be.
By the time you get into your 30s, that's when it hits you, being like, oh shoot, I actually do want a family and kids and stay home and be a housewife and do like, you want all those traditional aspects, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's important that if majority of women are feeling this in their 30s, that like this hits them, you might want to take a step back, especially if you're in your early 20s, and understand like, okay, maybe if all these women are saying like that they want to have kids and they're having a really hard time doing that, and finding a right man at that age, because like most of them are taken whatever, then you know you have to be smart with your planning.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of hard because you see so many options, right? Like obviously we do these when you're younger. Obviously we do these videos and we see, you know, women's DMs and getting all this validation and all this stuff. Yeah. It's kind of hard to fathom that this ride is going to be over, right? The ride of having all of this validation from all these guys is going to come to an end. Yeah. They don't see the end of the road 10 years from now, right? They're looking at what's happening in front of them in that present time. So I think a lot of women need to look at other women, other older women and their examples and kind of learn from that, right? Yeah. So that you don't possibly repeat the same issues from these other women.
Yeah, learn from this woman right here, because she seems like she has it together, and I think she has a YouTube channel and she's teaching like
we'll link the video in the description.
Yeah, so I think that's really great to see examples like this, right? And more of these women should be speaking up and saying, this is the like how I was able to like successfully have like be a housewife, and I've done it for X amount of years, whatever, right? So I think it's just more important to see that.
All right, guys, so we're gonna go ahead and end this video. If you like this video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time.
Bye, guys.